What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 22 of my journey as a startup founder. I'm building an AI search platform from scratch with my own funds, my own money, and it has honestly been the best decision I've ever made in my life. Um, I've made a similar decision in the past, but this time around I did it properly. I saved some funds, saved some money to do this nicely so that I can have good clothes. So I generally come and talk about, uh, just my journey, what I'm building, how I'm building, why I'm building. Um, in today's video, I want to talk about UX. This is the first time I'm talking about UX. I don't get to talk too much about UX. I don't work too much on user experience. Honestly, up until this point, I haven't because have been working on the query processing pipeline, the search, the back end, if you will, and that about 95% of my time goes there. But today, I thought for a change, uh, let's think about the search. And the thing I want to talk about today is the search box. So I'm building a baby Google, is how I describe it, or baby perplexity. And so you should expect everything that you see on a Google search box or Google interface, AI mode interface, Google, or Perplexity interface. You should pretty much expect something very similar. I don't think I'm innovating so much on the user experience side, so much, but there are some things I'm doing differently. In today's video, I want to talk about the main sort of component of a search application, which is the input search box or a query box or a prompt box. You can call it whatever you want. In today's, modern AI applications, the line between what's a search application and a chat application and an AI application is sort of very blurry, very blurry. Uh, it's hard to say, like, is ChatGPT a search application or chat application? Okay, it's chat because it's got chat in the name itself, but you can search, you can ask, latest Uno games, which, me and my son play a lot, or, what's the weather like? And then we'll go off and find the right weather from some website or some API and then pull it and show you. And then on the flip side, you go to Google AI mode, which is Google's AI search application, and it behaves as if you can search, but you can also chat. Like you can say, "Hey, I'm feeling a little drowsy today. What should I do?" Or "Hey, so give me some upbeat quotes to kind of get me going. I need some motivation." And the Google AI mode will come up with just fine, reasonable response, and so does Perplexity. So the line is blurring, and it has, and from my viewpoint, what I see is it's really just a play on messaging. You At the end of the day, you want to tell users what you are, and Perplexity started messaging as a Google alternative that's built on AI, an AI native. As far as I can tell, it was the first proper AI native search platform, right? And rightfully so, people loved it, and they have a huge following. Um, Google obviously started as a search engine and now evolving from a traditional 10 blue link search engine to um, more of an AI experience. And so they stick the AI mode response up top. Um, in many countries, I don't think they were launched across the globe. And so the lines are blurring. And so that is, like I said, from my standpoint, it's all about marketing, messaging, I should say. And I used to work for Google. I was part of Google Search. I only worked there for a year, and I got super frustrated. I couldn't even fit in, and so I left. And I quit my job. And this is 2 years back, and with the ambition, the goal that I want to build my own search platform that gives Google a run for its money, or at least a good alternative. We need alternatives. I've talked about this in many previous videos. You go buy a good loaf of bread, at least in a superstore. It's good to have some alternatives, good options. Sometimes the loaf you want is not available. Sometimes they change the formula or recipe and kind of pisses you off. Sometimes they jack up the price and you kind of screwed. You need options so that people can make well-informed choices and um, not be dependent on a product. And Google was clearly becoming that. 92% something market share at one point. Clearly, it's like if Google changed the formula, it was like a earthquake, like a virtual internet earthquake. At least from web development standpoint, everyone's like freaking out, or publisher standpoint. Their numbers would reflect that. Like some would get more views, some would get less views. Another example is YouTube. It's very much it's very much a domination of video format, right? If you want today watch videos, you have to go to YouTube. YouTube changes their formula for ranking or monetization. If you're a YouTuber, like I'm trying to be, terrible YouTuber, but yeah, today, but I'm trying to be a good YouTuber. They change, and there's nothing you can do most of the time. They've made their decision, and they come up with a fancy reason like why and it's almost always in the spirit of greater good. God knows what that greater good is. Probably revenue related. So that's kind of the core thesis behind why another search platform. We need options, and we need a smaller option. It's like a mom and pop coffee shop alternative to a Starbucks or a Pete's, or like a small juice like cart. Like if you go to many Asian countries, you see juice carts. Like they'll cut fresh fruit, or they'll have pre-cut fruit that's fresh, and they'll just juice it up for you. Versus like a Jamba Juice, which uses everything frozen. You need to have alternatives. Yes, many of the times you'll go to a Jamba, they have more variety, more options, more consistency. But oftentimes, you just want something fresh, something small, and you want to have a nice conversation with the cart owner and build that rapport, that relationship, and then you may prefer the cart guy. So, or gal. So that's the idea, a small alternative. So I call myself a baby Google or a baby Perplexity. That's what I'm building. When I launch my MVP, it absolutely shouldn't surprise people in the sense of what this is, but it should somewhat shock people how good this is. A one-person company, a one-person building this, how good it is. Because obviously I use it and I improve it daily. It's shocking how I'm shocked, honestly, genuinely, and I show it to my family. The only people who have seen it, some of my friends and close friends and family, and then they genuinely are. It's pretty good. I mean, it's not better than ChatGPT, maybe. Things like it's not better, but it comes very close. In some cases, I can do better. So there are two areas that recently I've been talking about. One is personalization. I want to do a lot of videos on how I am thinking of personalization. There are entire research groups and entire startups built just around memory and personalization. So obviously, I don't think I'll be able to beat them, but I'm building it from a very user-centric standpoint, and that's my success formula. Everything I'm doing is this in the best interest of the user and not investors? I have no investors. Is this in the best interest of user experience and what the user wants versus growth? I have to 2x my growth. Like, look at what Perplexity is doing. They're partnering with everybody. I was listening to Joe Rogan. It's like sponsored by Perplexity. Clearly, they're like running out of organic users, and they want to grow and keep doubling because they want to become the next $1 trillion company, I'm sure. I don't have those needs or requirements. For me, it's like absolute user-centered product and company. So today, all that sort of pretext aside, today I want to talk about the user experience for the very first time. This is 22nd. What video? Oh yeah, this is 22nd video I'm making. Episode 22nd. This is the first time I'm talking about user experience. It comes to show how much I've been working on the back end. But for me, it's good. Now there are all these chat applications and help AI apps. So you kind of just, all you have to do is ask, hey, what is a good user experience? Do some research online, do some competitive analysis, come up with some ideas. Obviously, I do much more than that, but that's a good start. So today, I want to go through some research that I've collected, I've developed by myself, with the help of AI and things like that. And I want to walk through like how fun it is. This is why this is so much fun. By the way, I have to say one thing. Well, some of my friends ask me like, why are you doing this? Like, is it just for money? I'm like, no, I didn't. The chances of failure for me as a one-person company building a baby Perplexity with no funding and I'm not even in San Francisco anymore. I used to live in Palo Alto, not anymore. Is or Mount Palo Alto, Mountain View. The chances of success for a company like this 0.00000. I don't know how many zeros. Add as much you want, 1%. So if you care for money, I would have stuck with Google, working at Google, and keep kind of getting my stock grants and things like that. But I absolutely have the best Monday mornings. I don't dread. I just I look forward to it, and I work all the time. And I love it. Like right now, it's Sunday, 11:45 in the morning, and I don't care. I'd rather be building this than go out somewhere and play golf or something or travel. For me, this is like, oh God, all the things I wanted to do, which I remember when I was at Google or other places. Oh, this is not our department. Or if you have feedback, like, oh yeah, share the feedback, and some other team will prioritize. And at Google, at least the way we operated was we planned for the entire year, and anything sort of out of the ordinary, they're like, oh, this is not P0, or we don't have resources. Everything's resource. Even though it's super important, that's how ChatGPT came in, and Google's like, what? And was so slow to respond. And it needed a code red. So code red at Google is like, okay, screw your P0 priorities. You're officially allowed to shake it up. That's basically a code red. Else you get reviewed, you get bonuses, you get promotions, or even like PIP, based on just whether you're able to deliver or not. It doesn't matter how impact. I mean, yes, impact is part of the thing, but you can make up impact in so many different ways. It's like you can lie with statistics. So yeah. Anyways, so I will go through some iteration. This is funny. So by the one thing you'll notice is it says Ask Archie. Archie is just like a code name. Um, just sort of fun fact. By the way, I'm drinking some Sri Lankan tea. We traveled to Sri Lanka last year and I got some hand rolled black tea, and I just love it. I love it. This is sort of the beaker in which I brew it. So I hope you don't mind if I take a sip or two. Um, um, but yeah, the Archie's. I started. The fun fact that I wanted to share earlier was when I quit my job. I was in two minds. Well, not two minds. I was thinking maybe I should build like a butler assistant. I used to work for Ask Jeeves, and Jeeves was a butler, and so I was like, let's build a supercharged AI butler. At the time, Jeeves was hardly AI. There was some ML models that it used in terms of natural language understanding, but not AI, obviously, as we know today. So that would be cool, and that would be like the search experience that I can start with. It's like you're talking with a persona. But then I quickly sort of moved on to a baby like perplexity mode. I felt that's what resonates with really what I want, and I can always have a persona feature, and a butler can be a persona, um, things like that. Anyway, I digress. But so that's why Archie is kind of came. The name came up because I was planning to call this butler assistant Mr. Archie, something British sounding, that sounded like a butler. Excuse me. Ooh, very good tea, very good black tea. If you ever go to Sri Lanka, you should absolutely try hand rolled black tea. Um, so yeah, that's what Archie is. But anyway, let's go through some iteration. This is why this is so much fun. I'm like, I have the power. I don't have to. Everything. By the way, I follow many of the Google processes, documents, comments, and docs, research, grounded research and facts to the extent possible. Cite everything and record everything, so I check it all in Git. But without the politics. So much fun, so liberating. Holy smokes! And I love being a founder. It's like I always felt like I was like a founder. Like if I worked somewhere and I would meet the founder, I was like, oh my, I'm a little jealous. Like I wish I was that person or like that person, because then you get to truly shape the product, listen to users, come up with your priorities, reassess your priorities, your values. And I love all that. Having a strong core set of values, what we stand for, listening to the user, making sure we stick with what we're good at or why we exist and evolve as the world changes. I love all that stuff, and now I can do that finally. So again, just the UX. It's always a search box and a response, right? And it's like nothing special. So let's talk about like some of the things. This is funny. So this is what I started with. A lot of this is AI generated, and I've kind of tweaked a little bit. But this is the most basic, right? So the two things I want to call out that it's not exactly innovations, but I wanted in my application from day one is a private keep private sort of option. I want to keep it checked by default, so private by default. I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going to stick with. I mentioned this in my previous video as well. Nobody that I am aware of does this. You can have a private session, ChatGPT or Perplexity, and everything's private, but it's not as easy as this. And also, it's definitely not the default. So, this is what I mean by user centric. Keep things private, like and give the users option to save if they want this to be saved. This way, you have it's like stress relieving. You don't have to worry that all of this stuff I'm searching, it's all getting saved. It's in some sidebar and all the crap, and then I have to go clean all that up. And then when I really want to find something, I need a search box to search through my conversation, and then I have to all that jazz. And besides, here's the other thing. Not only those conversations are saved, they're used for personalization. If I'm asking something, say about toys that I want to give a gift, I don't want to use that information for future personalization. Like I was just browsing for someone, or something I wanted something of a gift, and there are no personal preferences that you should be recording. But the AI LLM necessarily doesn't know that. And then next time I know, and I search for something, and it gets used for personalization. I'm like, what? I wouldn't even know actually most of the time. So that's the problem. So yeah, private by default. And then don't personalize. This is something again so basic, so simple. Nobody I know does this, or at least very easily. Look at this search box. This is as easy as it gets. You go, search a prompt box, chat application. Think of it as like a traditional chat GPT or Perplexity. This is the box. Ask Archie. I don't think Archie is, by the way, going to be the final. I'm actually pretty sure because I bought a domain that I feel resonates with my values or the values behind this startup. So right now, Archie is basically just a code name. Think about this, like ask Archie question or paste anything. Don't personalize, keep private, and then there's an advanced box. You go to the advanced box, what's in it? Let's see. Sorry about all this. Here you go. Okay, here you go. You know, all these nice things. Again, I haven't settled on a lot of these things. This is just purely research that I'm showing you, but it's pretty cool, right? Hey, in some cases I want a concise answer or output format with bullet points, etc. But it's hidden by default, so you don't see it everything. So it looks pretty simple, but yet you have all the power. And some of the options are pretty good. Include a one paragraph summary first. It's so cool. Instead of doing it all the time, give the user the option. And so this goes back to there are some 5 core tenets. I will share them maybe in the future video. But there are 5 core tenets of my startup. And one of them is control. We have to give user the control. Another one I can tell you is trust. User-centric design. User should trust. These are tenets there's no way we want to or I want to break. From a user experience standpoint, from an algorithm standpoint, from an LLM standpoint, from a product standpoint, from a company standpoint. So this satisfies control. The user is in control. And sometimes you don't want the control and let the LLM do its thing. It'll do its thing, but you can. So cool, so simple. And this is also pretty cool. Memory. This I guess is in conflict of keep private, the memory offer on, and use the chat so far. This also I haven't seen it. Maybe there is an app that does this. I haven't seen it where there is a thread of discussion going on, and there is a setting that says don't use my previous chat. Just answer independently. It's a very advanced niche thing. Very small percentage of user, maybe 1% in 100 uses it, but that 1% will super appreciate it. And a lot of if you talk about like who's the target audience, like investors love to talk about this. What's your TA? What's your target audience? Keep it as niche as possible. Keep it as small as possible. Go to moms in Washington D.C. that have one kid and one kid that's something, and then they love knitting, and sort of go after them and then expand. Yeah, I absolutely agree. By the way, that is great way to go about because you can always expand. But when you're building a baby perplexity, it's very hard to come up with something that's that targeted and then tell the user all of a sudden you become very broad. So anyway, this is the advantage of not having investors. Uh, but no app I know does this. Uh, don't use the chat, don't use earlier messages, and so on. So this is pretty good. And this is like the first iteration that I liked and I settled with. And then I'm like, okay, let's search on archive, let's search on web, let's search on Hacker News, all these nice places. Let's see what else we can do. Let's expand. Like, let's not be very conservative. Even though this was something I really liked. I'm sorry, I keep changing the wrong things. Okay, and then we're like, again, a lot of this is, by the way, AI. I keep working with AI, so it's not like I authored it, but this is another version where there are labels. Private means not saved. Personalized means don't use memories. Pretty cool. By the way, this is a mobile AI. I love how cute it is, like super tiny. I expect most people will be using this, if anyone uses this. By the way, I sometimes tell my wife, I don't know if anyone will use it, but I will use it. And I hope you will use it. And so I try to get her feedback all the time. She's not a techie. She's an artist. And she so far has given me positive feedback. She thinks it's pretty cool, and she would use that for many use cases. So it makes me proud. But look at this. Look at tiny, cute little box. I love this thing. Sorry, I keep changing the wrong screen. I'm sorry about it. I love it. Type your message, emphasize and advance. I love it. This is so cute. I just love it. This completely represents what I wanted to do. If I would have, I would never go to investor. There's absolutely no way in hell I want to go to investors right now, or even for the foreseeable future. But if I was someone else and wanted to start with investors and take the money and figure out a way to become a billion-dollar unicorn, this is what I would start with. And what I would tell investors is, this is what I want to build, and this is why. Even though there's competition, this is how what are the gaps are, and why there is a market segment that will resonate with this, and this is needed. And this is what the interface would look like, and this is what we would build. We wouldn't build the search index and crawling. For now, we'll use Exa or some other things, but we'll innovate on the query pipeline. We'll do it such that the entire pipeline is serviceable via SaaS API, so that could be our monetization, or will be our monetization. And we give a genuine alternative to Google, and we build a brand around that. And why the world needs it is because there are a lot of innovations that comes in very slow for some of these big companies, and a lot of innovations that are user-centric that don't get picked up by these companies and will be different. We'll absolutely lean heavily on user-centric design and make sure users have trust from day one and users feel in full control from day one. That's kind of the pitch. And then you iterate. And we can start with a niche like real estate or what have you, that's fine. But the ambition is to build a general purpose engine. And also another ambition I would say is there's a whole sort of pipeline. The whole pipeline may be driven today with some kind of workflow, but all that is recorded for building a future AI model that drives the whole thing completely. So AI model driving multiple AI model pipelines, completely automated, completely AI based. No human intervention, no heuristics. It's just all intelligence. And that is the ultimate goal. And once you have that kind of model, that's a good, it's worth some dough. That's my pitch. And there you go. I mean, in my background, I've worked at Google and Amazon and Ask Jeeves, 7 years at Ask Jeeves, 1 year at Google. I think a pretty good background, all in Silicon Valley and elsewhere and whatnot. I'm summa cum laude, bachelor's computer science degree from University of Minnesota. I have double degrees, robotics, yeah, I'm super passionate about this. Like, this is what I've always wanted to do. Yeah, give me some money to do this, and I'll make sure to make it a reality. Build a great team. I know a lot of Google folks who maybe I can hire in the future or now. With that kind of pitch, I'd be very surprised if I don't get funding. Very surprised. Very surprised. Like if they still don't give funding, I don't give a crap. But I'm pretty sure someone will throw like, because for Silicon Valley investors, like $500,000, which is maybe seed funding around, or $1 million, well, it's nothing. It's like chump change. They'll just forget about me, and that could go a long way. Because if this even has some remote chances of being a success or reality, it's big. You're changing the game for some very big players in ways that puts a lot of stake at risk for them. Yeah, this is also a very classic acquisition target. Anyways, I digress. So I love this mobile stack layout. So cute, so cute, so cute. And then I have some notes. And again, a lot of this is AI generated. It's just me prompting back and forth and things like that. And one of the things I do is I load up in the canvas, Claude and ChatGPT allows that. And then you can kind of play around. Then I'm like, yeah, let's keep exploring. This is another sort of experience. I don't like too much, but like citations, include citations, this chat only, contract. It's too complicated. Yeah, but oh well, it was there. This is very interesting and advanced, like a badass advanced section. Like, oh, you could do retrieval, what to consult, trust, what to consult, response, how you want to respond, privacy. It's like 4 sections. It's like for the super OCD kind of person, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna now ask again a follow-up question. But this could be a follow-up. Yeah, or it could be a very first question in the thread, and like, oh yeah, and then I'm gonna pick this for retrieval, this for trust. It's like, you obviously are not my wife. Yeah, but hey, there are some people who do like this. By the way, it's funny. There's some tech people or savvy people who love this kind of control. It's funny. Even if I don't know if I'd go this far, but if I do this, that'll be a small percent of people that are like, they'll start using my product just for this. So it comes to show there's so much to do. Don't get dissuaded by just, there's a lot of competition, a lot of products out there. Don't listen to people. Don't listen to investors. Actually, that's the first thing you should do. Do not listen to investors. They have the same tape. Oh yeah, did you build a team? Do you have a team? Because they're like, if this guy dies, what will happen? They want a team. How good is your team? Do you have a niche? Pick a niche. Okay. Do you have your KPI? Do you know the mission? This is how you can survey. Blah, blah, blah. I respect people who have built things. That's all I'll say. Anyways, la 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 la. So this is pretty good. I liked it. It's like, but yeah, I don't know if I'll build it. Then it's like, oh yeah, let's do something ultra compact. And one person. It's kind of funny. This is AI, by the way. It's my favorite for one person product. So ask a question. Don't personalize. This should be checkboxes, by the way. Don't personalize. Keep private. Focus on the web. Fresh. So use fresh content. Evidence and length. It's kind of interesting. It's still complicated for most people. But I like the freshness part in this, where it's like I want recency. So if it's something news related or trendiness. No, I don't know. This, by the way, it's easier said than done for LLMs. You can't just say fresh 30 days. This all as in for the LLM, because LLM is baked in, frozen in time. And so it has to do with all the API calls, all the MCP calls you make. And those API calls should translate to content that can be filtered with recency to do that. And so you have to translate this to making Maps API call or News API calls or Google Search API calls or what have you with this filter. YouTube API calls, like show me last 30-day videos. So that's what that translates. It's easier said than done, by the way. It's not that easy to build because what you're at the end you're building. If you ask me what I'm building, it's like an AI orchestrator. Is at the core. Obviously, a lot of other things like personalization, things like that, where you're orchestrating all these different things. But you want to do it from my perspective, you want to do it such that it can be turned into a model, and you're not doing old-fashioned rules and workflows. So you want to do it with intelligence, because then it scales. As the models get smarter and better and better and better, your product automatically gets better and better and better, automatically, because you're relying on intelligence. So yeah, it's pretty good. There's let's see what else. Practical implementation. This is funny. I love this thing. If you use me, your backend should treat it. So this is what you get for each message. This is kind of more on the backend side, like how you'd read all this. But it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Then there is some more sort of, hey, let's look at some other options. And so abstract, decide, deliverable, personalize, keep private, and then contract chips. Kind of, yeah, confusing. The other ways to do advanced, similar like group. Basically, the idea is to present a lot of options in advance, but group them in different sort of sections or categories that users can understand. Look, and here it says something. OpenAI splits history as training, and also has temporary chat. Claude styles show voice as a control. I don't know what that means. Anyway, let's move on. I think I have one more. Oh yeah, this is pretty good. I love this. So when you know, you can give the user the control to make something shorter, more formal, turn into a memo. So after you get a response, like show it at the end of a response, like actions, like further actions. I don't think again, do I don't think other apps do that, or at least not this prolifically. This is insane. You already got a response like, oh, this is pretty good. Make it shorter, man. Just a button. Most of the time people are just typing, oh, make it shorter, give me a tweet or X post out of this. Add risk, change the freshness to 7 days from 30 days. All buttons. So it's just more button clicking than typing, I guess. So this is pretty good. So yeah, those are some of the ideas that I was exploring, and I'm still not done. But I love this thing. So if you're thinking whether you should be doing what I'm doing, and if you have some safety net, if you love the kinds of things that I'm talking about, you have to be a founder, a co-founder. You get the opportunity to go through the entire journey of finding a product niche, finding gaps, finding user pain points, targeting them that aligns with your values, and then build a product that you can be proud of. And you get to work on different aspects. That's what I love about it. So many people I know at Google, they just loved working on knowledge graph, or just loved working on back propagation, which is fine. We need expertise, but I never felt I was in that category. I was more. I love both breadth and depth, but selective depth. And so that's a good way, I guess, to describe if you're someone who likes the kind of that view of both breadth, but then depth. You go deep and solve. Like, I cannot build this if I don't go deep. But at any given point in time, I zoom out and I have to make sure this fits nicely in the bigger picture. So if you're that kind of person, then this is the perfect job for you. Perfect job. I wouldn't trade it for the world. Even though I did in my previous video, I showed like my living circumstances. I don't want to talk about it. You can see that video. It's just because it's very bad. But yet, I think I'm more happier than ever. So yeah, that's it for today's video. Sorry, I have a allergy thing, so my nose is sort of somewhat congested, so I don't sound great. But I hope this is interesting. For me, this is just a way to get some of these things, ideas out. Maybe they're just memories for my future self. I don't really expect many people to view and watch this. Why would you do it? But I like doing it, so I'll keep doing it. And this also checks one of my core tenets of building the startup, is to build in the open. You can't build a user-centric platform in the dark. So one of the things I'm doing, I mentioned in my previous video, is asking people help on how to get on social media. How do you build a community? How can I build a community where I can get feedback on some of this early? I can get early users that can test the product or help me and give me feedback, and hopefully I can give something in response or in return. Maybe they get free for life, or free first few years, or obviously direct access to me. I don't know lots of things I guess we can come up with. T-shirts, I don't know. Like, how do you do it? But something like that I would love to set up. And I'm thinking hard about how to do it. So hopefully I can come up with something. But yeah, that's it for today. Thanks everyone. See you in the next one. See ya.